He was America's most brilliant general, the man George Washington trusted above all others. And in one single act, he became the most hated name in American history. It is 1780, 4 long years into the War for Independence, and the Continental Army is starving. Soldiers go weeks without pay, huddled around dying fires in a muddy, war-torn camp, their uniforms torn and their spirits worn thin by hunger and cold. Supply wagons sit empty and abandoned along the frozen roads. Morale is collapsing faster than any army could withstand. And deep inside this fragile rebellion, one man quietly holds a secret that could end everything before it even truly begins. Around a candle-lit map table, officers trace the fading lines of a war slipping steadily away from them. His name is Benedict Arnold, once the fiercest fighter in Washington's army, wounded twice in battle, celebrated as a hero of Quebec and Saratoga. He led men through impossible terrain, through thick smoke and relentless cannon fire, when lesser soldiers would have long turned back. He bled for this cause, again and again, without complaint. When he fell wounded on the field, Washington himself pinned a medal to his chest before the entire watching army. For a time, no name in the Continental Army carried more honor than his. Crowds once cheered his name in the streets. Newspapers praised him as a hero of the Revolution, his portrait celebrated across the colonies. But glory fades quickly in wartime. Passed over for promotion again and again, buried under mounting debt, Arnold watched lesser men rise above him in rank, while his own sacrifices were quietly forgotten by the very Congress he had bled for. Alone in a dim room, fists clenched, he crumples yet another letter of rejection. By flickering candlelight, his ledger tells the same story every single night. Red ink, unpaid debts, a proud man slowly drowning in his own bitterness. And bitterness, left unchecked, has a quiet way of becoming something far more dangerous. He married into a family with strong loyalist sympathies, and slowly, a new circle of company, new ideas, and new resentments began to surround him completely. Alone in his study, night after night, Arnold began to question everything he once believed in without doubt. What if the very man meant to save the revolution was secretly the one working to destroy it from within? By flickering candlelight, he finally takes up his quill. A letter is carefully written. A seal is pressed firmly into warm wax, and a decision, once made in the silence of that room, can never truly be undone. In the quiet shadows of Philadelphia, Arnold begins a secret correspondence with the British command directly. Letters pass quietly from hand to hand in code, hidden carefully inside hollowed-out silver balls, smuggled slowly through trusted couriers who have absolutely no idea what they are truly carrying. Riders vanish silently into moonlit forests, carrying secrets they will never fully understand or even suspect. On the other side, British officers lean in closely over a candlelit table, studying a single highly detailed map, the Hudson River and the fortress that guards it so completely. Arnold asks for money. He asks for protection, safety, and a new commission.
and in exchange, he quietly offers something far more valuable than either one.
West Point, the gateway to the entire northern colonies, standing watch over the wide and vital Hudson River. If it falls into British hands, the revolution itself could be cut cleanly and completely in two, north from south, forever and for good. Arnold requests the command personally. Washington grants it freely, without a moment's hesitation or suspicion. Arnold walks the fortress walls alone at dusk, cannons lining the steep cliffs high above the dark river far below. Every single day, he moves quietly, steadily closer to handing it all away. And still, after everything, no one around him suspects a single thing.
Then, on a quiet September night, a small rowboat crosses the dark, silent water in complete and total silence. A British officer named John André steps carefully and quietly ashore to meet Arnold face to face and finalize the plans at last. Maps, troop counts, detailed fortification plans, all written out clearly and carefully in Arnold's own hand, carefully tucked into the hidden lining of André's boot. Disguised now as a simple civilian traveler, André rides alone through a mist-covered countryside at early misty dawn. What happens in the next 60 seconds will determine the fate of the entire American Revolution. Ahead of him, without any warning at all, 3 armed militiamen suddenly step out from the tree line.
André is stopped abruptly at gunpoint on the empty, silent road. His boots are searched carefully by flickering torchlight in the cold, early morning mist. And there, hidden deep inside, they find the documents. Shock spreads quickly across the militiamen's weathered faces. They are holding the fate of an entire nation in their bare, trembling hands. A lone rider gallops hard and fast through the dawn to deliver the urgent, desperate news. Inside his tent, Washington receives the report, the parchment trembling slightly in his own steady hand. The betrayal is finally, completely, and fully discovered. But the traitor himself is already long gone.
Warned just moments before Washington's arrival, Arnold flees quickly, his heart pounding hard in his chest, down a narrow staircase and out into the cold night. A horse is saddled hastily, in desperate, hurried haste, hooves scraping against the stone yard. He rides hard and fast toward the distant riverbank, where a wooden barge waits silently for him in the darkness, rocking gently on the current. He steps aboard, glancing back only once, one final time at the shore he will never return to again as an American. A British warship waits patiently at anchor further out on the dark, open water. He climbs aboard slowly, shoulders slumped low in complete and utter defeat, as the country he once served with blood and fire disappears quietly behind him into the deepening dark.
Washington arrives at West Point only moments, only minutes too late. The quarters standing completely empty, the coat left carelessly behind on an empty wooden chair. Soldiers who once cheered Arnold's name now burn his effigy, angrily and bitterly, in the streets below. Newspapers brand him forever, permanently, with a single damning word: traitor. He becomes a living, breathing symbol of everything a young, fragile nation feared most deeply. But here is the twist history rarely tells. His betrayal forced the Continental Army to unite more fiercely and more closely than ever before, hardening a resolve that carried it all the way, finally, to independence.